Amazing to me how the left decides and picks and chooses it's what they think is right for you and me. And if you don't agree with them the way they want to be agreed to, then you're the enemy. You're wrong. And what was proven again is last week when it came up to how conversations about religion, Pope, and others, how the reaction, unbelievable. Hey everybody, I'm David Solomon from the Rant Network. Stuart Brisgell is on a mission today and he's out. I'm doing this solo today. The Rant Network here, if this is your first time, welcome. We dive into these raw, unfiltered issues that span news, pop culture, unbelievable politics beyond, and so much more. It's about dissecting today's absurdities. And another one of those absurdities today. It's all about what we dive into deep-seated issues in society that, simply put, we try to keep it real. We do one take, one edit. Nope, no edits. In fact, we go straight. So what you see is what you get. So sit back today as we dive in today into another edition of the Rant Network. So originally, I was not going to even bother addressing this topic. I found that, really what do we need to get into once again? The Catholic Church, philosophies, values, all that kind of stuff. We know where the left really sits. And the left sits on that everything that they disagree with is the devil incarnate. Use a funny analogy. But I couldn't help myself because yesterday on Sunday, 60 Minutes took a piece of what would be broadcast tonight, Monday night on CBS, an interview with the Pope. And I'm sitting here going, terrific. A liberal media with an anchor lady who admits she's Catholic. I'm surprised she still has a job. And she sits down with the Pope to talk about everything to do with today. Now, I don't know what the hour-long interview was going to look like, but in the 10, 15 minutes that she was on 60 Minutes, if that's what it's going to be, then it's clear. The media, the left, doesn't want to hear the harsh truth about what the religion has to offer and what it has to say. Because if your first question to the Pope is what he thinks about the war in Gaza, what's in his business? A little sidetrack, folks. The Pope traditionally hasn't sided with Jews. If you know, the church, the Catholic Church, has promoted anti-Semitism through generations and generations and centuries of hate. And while it took Pope John Paul II, the first Pope, to finally recognize that about anti-Semitism, that it's wrong, it hasn't stopped the church from tacitly siding with anti-Semites, tacitly being against Israel on so many different divisive issues, including the Palestinians. When this Pope went to Israel, he went to one of those walls that divided Israel and Palestine and stood there as if it's some religious institution, crying. He made his message clear who he sides with. And while he gave a neutral-ish answer, we know where the church sits. We know how they feel about anti-Semitism. Although he denounced it, but he also denounced anti-Semitism. He also denounced the sentiment towards Islam. Again, the beautiful part. And then she proceeds to ask him about the campus protests. Again, complete no relevance. Especially Nora O'Donnell, that these anarchists hate the church. That if they are who they say they are, they hate the church. Now, what offends me about this is that Nora O'Donnell didn't bother asking the Pope, how come he's not standing with Christians being genocidally destroyed in the Middle East? That's right. Go to any Middle East country except Israel and ask yourself, where is the Christian communities? Some have left, most slaughtered. That's a genocide. But that doesn't matter to the Pope. That doesn't matter to the church. That doesn't seem to matter to the left. Yes, she dove into the conversation about, the sexual abuses and whatever, but there wasn't a single question about what the church really stands for. Yes, they acknowledge the fact that this Pope sort of recognizes same-sex marriages, but the rest of the church doesn't. But again, the real hot topic issues don't matter. Not when you're talking to the Pope. Apparently not. CBS wasn't going to go there because they would rather attack Harrison Butker. Now you're thinking, who in God's name is this person? But if you haven't heard of this person, brace yourself. This is fun. Butker's 28 years old. He's a place kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. He just won the Super Bowl. He's a very happy, proud individual, and extremely proud Catholic. He was invited by Benedictine College in Kansas, a Catholic school that merged in such a way that now there are men and that there are women in the school. And he pushed two statements, two feelings that he believes is in the essence of what the church espouses as values. One, the value of the family. That's right, the family. And he addressed women in the school, and this is what offended all of these, the left. These are degree-carrying women. And he said, quote, I embrace one of the most important titles of all when it comes to women, homemaker. Now, what he said today is he says, I'm on stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans her into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. And they got 18 seconds of applause. She's the primary educator of my children, or our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband or a father. She's the person that knows me at best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. And it continues and continues. And what's unbelievable, she goes, her dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you ask her today if she has any regrets on her decision to be a homemaker, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no. The left went nuts. The left went crazy. The liberal media went absolutely so angry that here he's talking about the family and how dare he demean women to become homemakers. I mean, how dare you? This is a college. These women got a degree and you want them back in the kitchen in the bedroom. These are women who've advanced. We're beyond the notions of cavemen. And here you are setting us back decades. I mean, I loved it. Loved the reaction. These are the same people who simply would rather have two careers, send their children to daycare, and let somebody else raise their children. Okay, that's your choice. And if you choose that, so be it. But if Harrison Butker in his faith believes that that is a great vocation, all right? He says it's the most important title of all. It's his opinion. He's giving the convocation speech. It's a commencement speech. He is giving his opinion. You agree? Good. You don't agree? Don't agree. But to spew this hate, to spew this concept, that's why they hate the church so much. And he goes on to talk to the men. And he wants them to be, be proud of their masculinity. Don't be unapologetic of your masculinity. Again, the left went nuts. Butker is bringing back all these old school things that we destroyed in this country. Get rid of it. Men, masculinity. What year is this? It's unbelievable. One man's opinion. But it's what he believes in, what he was brought up in the church to believe in. It's part of his Catholic faith. Now, you can disagree with it. But to react this way, maybe perhaps that's why Norah O'Donnell didn't want to ask the Pope these hard questions. Of the church's belief in family. That there has to be a mother and a father. Yeah, but they even say, okay, he says, all right, we can have two fathers, two mothers. But the sanctity of the family is lost. And I'm surprised that instead of talking about Gaza, instead of talking about the encampments, ask the Pope what he thinks of the family. Today's family in America, in the West, is it dead in its concept? Is it healthy? Are we passing on the best values to our children? Clearly, by what we see in a lot of cases, the answer is no. The answer is no. Because if you look at what's going on campus, if you look at the way Gen Z reacts to everything, young millennials, how they react, I don't think we've really done the right job focusing on a two-career family, because that was the most important thing. And then we brought children into this world. We hurt that next generation. We taught them the wrong values. And if I were the Pope, that is what I would focus on. You have no say in Gaza. I mean, Nora O'Donnell asked him if he'd get involved in forging peace between the two parties. I mean, the stupid questions that she could have possibly asked has no relevance whatsoever. But in this case, the tough question, how America's changed, how the West has changed, how the West has gone away from one religious deity, the Pope, if you will, to other deities like Alexia Ocasio-Cortez and other left-leaning leaders that they deify because they think that this is their new religion. The new religion of hate, the new religion of I'm right, you're wrong, my way or the highway, my way or get out of my way. That's the new religion. And they chase the leaders of that. But what once was a fundamental Judeo-Christian basis that built the West has been thrown out the window. The family. And while Harrison Butker, for whatever reason, didn't do the right thing, is your opinion. He spoke at a Catholic school in which they embrace these type of values. But the left won't let you believe that. The left won't let you accept this because it is wrong. A Benedictine college nuns denounced it. Okay, that's good for them. Others slammed him. CNN called it the biggest mistake he made in his career. Joe Biden went after this. I mean, really? Joe Biden stands at a commencement speech and talks about peace in the Middle East and what he feels that. And that's not how he talks is not divisive. But Harrison Butker, who stands there for what he believes as a Catholic, is told he's wrong. Is vilified for his beliefs. Interesting. I'd be curious to see tonight's interview with the Pope. I'd be curious to see if they're going to ask him these tough questions. Because 60 Minutes didn't feel that was important. 60 Minutes didn't feel, and CBS didn't feel that it was important to talk about the family. Let's talk about these hot topic issues. Gaza, encampments. That's what the Pope really cares about? Or should? That's what makes me sick, folks. The hypocrisy. Agree with me or disagree with me, I don't really care. But when you react the way you do and call it a disaster, denouncing it in such a way that he should lose his job, and there was a call for him to lose his job. Others have slammed him on a speech. Yes, he got into abortion, he got into other subjects. I'm not going to get into that. But it's one man's belief. And if you sit in those commencement speeches, that's what people spew. And you know what you're going to get. And the school knows what they're going to get. Ignorance is incredible. But it's an opinion. It's an attitude. It's a value that he believes in. He has that right. I just wish others would be looking at what he was trying to get at as a message. That the family, the essence of the family that the Pope should be focusing on is kind of dead in America. And that's unfortunate. Well, that's it for today, folks. I'm done. Thanks for tuning in to the Rant Network. We hope you found something in today's dialogue. Catch us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. We're on social media. We're all over the web. Check us out, therantnetwork.com.